Welcome to another episode of the Bastard Sermon. I'm Cody Hucker.
Luke Young.
John Holmes.
That's John Holmes for sure. Are we done with this bit yet, Lloyd? When are we going to be done with this bit? That's Lloyd Johnson. We don't have a guest because Wayne's a little bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
He had a sick. I'm joking. Wayne has a sick kid. Couldn't make it, so it's just us. I slept until 5 p.m.
He's sick.
I slept until 5 p.m.
His kid fucking landed a double kickflip, and he was like, bro, I can't come into the podcast. We got to make a tape for Monster Energy.
My kids are too gnarly right now, bro. If I wouldn't have woke up at 5 p.m., then, because I dropped my son off at, like, 1, because he had, like, a play date with his friend, and my babysitter was like, bring your son over early, like, sick. And I just, like, laid down to, like, watch some TV and just passed out in my fucking computer chair. Just woke up, like, oh God, am I late for the podcast? And then I saw Lloyd's messages about, like, in the chat on Facebook Messenger, you can see who's seen the messages. And I noticed Luke wasn't looking at any of the fucking messages. It was like, Wayne canceled, sick kid. And I'm, like, hitting people up with 2 hours to fucking showtime. Like, can we get another guest on here? I'm like, fuck, I slept in. And I was like, I hope Luke's all right. Literally, me and Luke got here at the same time, walked up the steps. We get in here and we start talking about how Wayne's not going to be able to make it. And he was like, what, he isn't? Like, yeah, you haven't read any of the messages. And he pulls the chat up, and I swear to God, he's like, the last thing in the chat is me posting this link, and in front of us, the rest of the messages populate.
It's just, I'm so frustrated. I don't know what the fuck that's about or why I did that.
Yeah, we couldn't find anybody, so it's just us.
But at least I didn't look like an absolute fucking psychopath of a liar. Like, no, dude, I swear to God I didn't get them. And they're all there. Like, you watch those pop up.
If it just said unsent message, unsent message, unsent message. Like, you just how was Brouhaha, boys?
It was dope.
It's fucking awesome.
I'm sad I missed it. Well, I'm not that sad. I had stuff to do. I had to get my shit taken care of. But walk us through the 2 nights. You went both nights?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Set up what Brouhaha is.
All right, Brouhaha it's Comedy Christmas. It's a bunch of comics coming to town. They block off a big chunk of Sawyer Point. There's the main stage and a couple other stages. And comics just throughout the whole day rotate as you go. You know, there's a bunch of beer vendors are there. And
It's like Van's Warped Tour, but with funny people.
And, you know, you don't want to kill everyone you meet there. But, yeah, it's one of my favorite weekends of the fucking year. I always enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, and far, far less pedophiles.
I've never been there before. It seemed like it was a good time. So usually they have a headliner, right? And this year it was some bitch no one's ever heard of. And
The second I was Robert Kelly.
yeah, Robert Kelly. Yeah, that was the one that I knew. And I was like, Bobby Kelly's that guy that's like a great comic that like does great material, but like nobody cares about him at all. Like he can't get any following no matter how many podcasts that he does. Like, but he's been doing comedy for fucking 25 years.
Have a more fun name.
He's great. He's fucking awesome, and nobody cares that he exists at all. Like,
He's got a lame name.
Nobody will watch his show. Like way more people. Well, I'm not shitting on him. I'm just saying it's sad because he's such a. And he was on Opie and Anthony back in the day for some of the greatest moments.
Well, because Robert Kelly sounds like a guy who's dealing with like he's smuggling money for like some sort of organization in like Iowa, but because it's in Iowa, no one's heard about it. So he's just like dealing with that sort of world-ending stress that he thinks is on his shoulders, but no one could give a shit less.
That's what his name sounds like to you?
Yeah,
that's a wild,
oddly specific and weird.
Yeah.
Thing for it to sound like.
Robert Kelly.
How did you go down that path with Robert and Kelly?
It just came to me.
His name wasn't Russian letters all mixed
It's like
together.
inspiration.
It wasn't 6 consonants in a row.
That's why it's happening. You least expect it.
How was Bobby Kelly? Did you get to see him?
No, that was the second night. I wasn't there.
All right. Did
Right.
you go to both nights?
Yeah.
All right. Walk me through the first night. What happened, boys?
I mean, I don't know how to walk you through it. You walk around, you see a bunch of different comics do sets.
So I showed up a bit late. We got there late because I was waiting for Mo to get off. But we got up there and we seen. Think Schubert just got off, and Tony Woods was finishing up his set.
Real quick, happy 30th birthday, Schubert.
Yeah.
Schubert murked it. We went to a private. We'll talk about this too. We went to a private Cy Amundsen show. Mm-hmm. Schubert did his last set as a 29-year-old on stage, and it was actually a sappy, emotional moment. But it worked, and fucking Shubes crushed it. Big respect to Schubert, and I heard that he did great at Brouhaha. So
He did.
Happy 30th
From what I hear.
Shubes. I'm fucking stoked for Shubes.
Yeah, I went down early because he was opening the main stage. So, like, he was the first person on the main stage.
Oh, that's awesome. How did he do?
He did great. I mean, the crowd wasn't huge on the main stage yet.
They're still coming in, basically.
Yeah. But he went up, and then Billy followed him. Billy did his set, and then Billy brought Alex back up on stage, made the whole crowd sing happy birthday to him.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's
That's
pretty fun.
fucking sick, dude.
Yeah.
That's so sick. Happy birthday, Shubes.
Yeah, Tony Woods was there, dude. That dude murders.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Tony
Oh, you
Woods.
mean Dave Chappelle's mentor? He's good at comedy?
But I mean, just even for like knowing how the encyclopedia of how to deal with shit that's in his head. Because even like the small crowd being far away and not being able to hear the laughs or whatever, like everything he did felt like the perfect thing to do in that moment, if it makes any sense.
Yeah.
Also, just on a personal note, I got a big kick out of the fact that he walked up and he was like, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?" And I've seen Tony Woods around a bunch of people, and he always seems like, he always kind of acts like he knows everybody. And I was like, blah, 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 just the normal, hi, how you doing? Didn't bring anything up. He's like, "You still doing that one podcast?" And I was like, "Well, I got a couple." He's like, "The one with the other dude, the Bengals one." I was like, "Holy shit, Tony Woods knows who I am." Like, it was just like kind of a weird moment. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't.
You didn't get called Zoo Guy for once?
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't push. Didn't push on it or anything. He just happened to mention that as we were.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And then Cy came like out of his way to come talk to me when he got there. And
Did they have to wheel him up like Hannibal Lecter with the fucking COVID mask on and everything?
no, but he did have his mask, and he kind of tried to avoid. But yeah, I mean, had good talk. And
I was shocked by how big Cy is. I'm like, he's bigger than Lloyd?
tall
what
as
the
hell.
fuck, dude?
so the funny part is, before my surgery stuff, we were the same exact size.
Yeah.
Like that's. I mean, there's pictures of me and him back to back.
They're whittling you down.
I was shocked. Keep going through Brouhaha. We'll get back to Cy.
But yeah, there's a bunch of people there that.
Luke Capasso murdered.
Yeah, dude, Capasso's. I mean,
He did great. His TikTok, by the way, I'm starting to dive in on the app now that we have it,
Yeah.
and his TikTok is great.
yeah, it's awesome.
It's really great.
What kind of shit does he do?
He does a
we
lot
pull
of
it
the
up?
time. It's we can do that if you want, but most of it is like him doing like sarcastic, tongue-in-cheek, like home improvement tip videos. Then there's videos of him like showing you what his garden has produced, and then there's just straight up comedy videos.
Yeah, and then there's dollhouses.
2.2 million likes on this dude's fucking shit. This is amazing.
He's got great stuff. He just did his a headlining show on a Wednesday or a Thursday at a Funny Bone.
Yeah, him and Wendy.
Yeah, and
Wendy's
they-
also another. She's hilarious.
And they said, I think he said it was like really filled. It wasn't sold out, but like for a Thursday in the Funny Bone for.
This one got an assload of views. Let's see what it is.
All week, this bitch is like, Saturday's gonna be lovely. We should do something with these kids. And I'm like, yeah, fuck that, dude. I'm doing drywall, concrete, fucking goddamn everything. I'm tired, dude. Saturday's my day off. I ain't
So
doing
put some
shit.
real effort
And I'll
into
put
this,
up with
too.
anything, dudes. You need to stand up, stand your ground, and do your fucking thing. Anyway, we went canoeing, right? It was a lovely day. There's really not much river. I just really like you kind of feel like you're just floating out there, like you're just amongst nature. Ohio sucks, but sometimes you get out away from the folks, and it just really puts you at peace, right? Yeah, I didn't really want to go, but I acted like an asshole the whole time just to make it even. We switched canoes, and she's like, yo, don't stand up in the canoe. You're going to tip it over. I'm like, dude, I'm a man. I do what I want. And then the canoe tipped over and got her hair all wet, and she was pretty pissed about that. Black women are a little bit like gremlins. You get their hair wet when they didn't want it to be wet. They're going to turn into a monster. Now it's going to cost me to get these braids taken out. This is going to cost some money. And I'm like, fuck you. You're the one who wanted to go canoeing. I didn't want to do this bullshit. Anyway, so I told her what time it was, and I'm like, I'll just do your hair myself. She's like, oh, that'll be lovely. I'm like, this ain't for you to enjoy. This is because I'm a fucking man. All right, guys, obviously you got to stand your ground, but you pick the movie out when it happens. Start at the bottom. You just cut the end off. You might be like, oh, they'll get mad you cut their hair. But you got to understand, this woman is like, she's about 60% fake hair. The first time with a woman of color might be a bit jarring because you're going to go around her house and just see loads of fake hair, like she's a little French squirrel trapper or something like that. But don't worry, it's usually fake. Anyway, guys, you're going to want to start at the bottom, work them out slow. You try to take off too much at once, it starts to knot up. Well, you'll notice when you break out the fake hair and you get to the real shit. She goes this weird Senegalese lady who puts this kind of glue beeswax stuff in there. What what you're going to want to use is an olive oil. That's an
Senegalese
old
lady.
boot country tip there. If you ever get glue or gum or anything like that in your hair, just some olive oil will loosen it right up. She's like, for a straight man, I'm a little concerned how much you know about women's hair. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a little concerned about how you don't shut the fuck up because you're getting your hair done for free. Anyway, you put all that glue and stuff out there, work it into the scalp real nice. It's good for the hair. She's like, damn, this was a lovely day when canoeing. Got a nice scalp massage. You're such a lovely guy. I'm like, Nay, won't you just leave me the fuck alone and let me sit in my goddamn chair? How's that sound for you? Because I don't put up with any shit, guys. You stand up out there, you stand your ground, and you live your life like you want to live it. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
phenomenal. Hold on. I saw Luke react so strongly to the first time you're with a woman of color, you're going to realize that she's got enough wigs in here to look like a French squirrel trapper. Is that the truth? Does Mo got wigs on deck all the time?
No, she doesn't have wigs on deck. No.
No, nothing like that. Okay.
No.
Oh, man. All right. Well, fucking Luke Capasso. Everybody check out Luke Capasso.
Check
He
him
murdered
out.
up on stage.
Like we seen Cy at the private show just a couple of days prior. He went up. He did some material we had seen before, that we saw at that private show. But it was sharpened. You could tell. He also went up maskless, entirely, not just on the chin. So that was interesting. He was taking some health risks.
And then
Yeah.
as soon as this, I mean, he wasn't even on the first stair off of the stage before he was pulling it back out and putting it on. But
Talking about Cy, right?
Yeah.
So set up why that's important for anybody that's listening.
Because
Like,
Cy is
what, they're still into COVID stuff? It's like,
Cy is a clay man like Lloyd is. He was made of clay and baked in an oven, and his bones are now brittle. And
he's a golem.
Cy has psoriatic arthritis, which is a autoimmune bone disease similar to the one I have. And so they have him on Humira, which is an immunosuppressant medication.
I see commercials for that.
Do you guys ever fight for who's more crippled?
No. I got a trump card in that, and like psoriatic arthritis, you can live a full life.
Oh, I thought you meant that you stole nuclear documents and kept them in your beach resort.
Yeah, I mean, kind
I
of.
had a trump card with that. All right. Okay. Well,
No,
I'll take a lap.
I think both of us just it's kind of one of those things where you're like, your suck is no you're just because my thing sucks different
Doesn't
or
mean-
worse doesn't make your thing suck less or
Yeah.
it's dog shit. Knowing someone you know is in pain all day, you're like, all right, well, yeah. Once you know what that's like,
Yeah.
especially for me, it's been a decade and change
Have
of
you-
every day.
Have you met anyone with like that disease there, where you're like, I'm glad you have it. Like you should,
Yeah.
like you should be suffering every day. You piece of shit. Like,
Yeah. There's a friend of mine. I won't say
What a great
exactly
question.
who, but one of their siblings has a disease, and I'm like, good.
Good.
How about you go fuck yourself?
What's
And,
the disease?
He has something.
Make it
that's-
horrible.
No, he has something where it's like muscular degenerated.
Like he's gonna lose his arm.
No, but it's not.
Why are you so excited right
God
now?
damn.
Jesus.
Funnier this way.
Is it? Is
Let's
it?
get laughs.
He just has one where basically it makes your muscles hurt a lot
Oh yeah.
from time to
Pussy.
time.
Yeah.
It's like his body will have like flare ups, and it'll make a bunch big like large muscle groups hurt real bad. And he's such a piece of shit that I'm like,
Good.
cool, good job, bro.
Good.
Like,
What does he do that makes him such a piece of shit that you're like rooting for disease?
I think he has 5 kids
Too many.
that he's never.
I would love if he just stopped right there. I think he has 5 kids.
I mean, that's,
Anyways, the brouhaha.
No one in their right mind should be having that.
I mean,
many.
in here, that's enough. But he has like 5, and I think he's only ever spent time around one of them, which is the boy.
Oh, that sucks.
Dang.
And it's because it looks like him.
Yeah.
Like
it's-
he's that.
and he probably just shucked the 4 other clams away and just stuck
Yeah.
with the steak.
Yeah.
You're a monster. I hope you get a bone disease, dude. And I hope it's unrelenting.
Fingers crossed.
No,
It makes your dick small? Nah, dude, I hope you get a small dick
It
disease.
just
dude.
actually just makes it just constantly grow.
You gotta live like
I
the
want him
rest
to have
of us.
that. I want him to have one of those ones like that mental disease where all of a sudden you can't stop yourself from laughing because he's always like talking about how much he hates his own laugh.
Well, when it's a good time, then it's awesome.
No, that's what I'm saying. But like when it was just like
bad.
like all the time, whether you like it or not, you'd be like,
yeah,
God,
that
I
would
hate this.
suck. Yeah, I would kill myself. Yeah, that would definitely be the outcome to that disease.
See?
I wouldn't be waiting around like you fools. I'd be fucking putting that.
Shut
gun in
up,
my
dude.
mouth.
Where are we gonna podcast? My grandpa's basement. Anyways, Lloyd, they changed the suicide hotline. It's 998 now, dude. It's super easy. All right, brew. Keep going.
No, yeah, you get to see. You get to see all. I get to see all my comic friends that I've known for however long, and you got a lot of local guys that have moved away and done stuff, come back and perform, and
Yeah.
a lot of people from out of town, like Singer was there, fucking.
Yeah.
It's been dope. How many people you
I got to see
introduced?
Cronin there.
Huh?
You didn't see?
I
Cronin?
got to see Mike Cronin.
Cronin's phenomenal. I've only ever seen Cronin a couple times.
This was my
but
first time.
One of the first times that I saw him was not opening. He was double featuring with Jeff Tate for fucking Kyle Kinane at not Woodward but Taft, over at Taft, and he fucking crushed it. He was incredible. I was like, this exists in Cincinnati. It was like, I thought it was just Jeff Tate. It was before I knew anything about Cincinnati comedy. I thought it was just Jay Armstrong and other needle drug comics. I thought that's all that we had.
Yeah.
And it turned out, oh no, there's
a great cast.
I'm fucking around, Jay. Your comedy's funny now.
It's all Jay.
Love you, Jay.
But no, I do like that. Like the first handful of shows I got him to go to, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to a fucking open mic," and I'm like, "There's still gonna be funny people at the open mic."
Yeah.
Like, he seemed real like, about it, and then he would be like, we'd leave, and he'd be like, "Dude, some of those people were fucking funny." I'm like, "Yes, they're comedians."
Of course. No way. Comics were hilarious.
I am. I've got to say, I'm so stoked for all the comedians that Lloyd's introduced us to since we started doing this. Because I looked at the Brouhaha set list and I was like, damn, I know all of these people. Not all of them, but I was like high 80%. I know almost all these people. We've had conversations with them multiple times. They know us. I'm like, this is a good feeling of knowing all these fucking comics on Brouhaha. I was like, I remember looking at a Brouhaha list before and being like, I have no idea who the fuck any of these people are. If they're funny, if it's worth going. Now I could tell you if it's and I genuinely am kind of sad that I didn't go. I had a bunch of shit that I had to get taken care of, and I was like, I can't fucking not get my household shit taken care of.
Right.
I'm not gonna not do my kids' laundry because daddy had to go to a comedy show. That's not happening. So I couldn't wing it. You went Saturday.
Just wear the PJs again, Dez.
You guys did a podcast. Should we skip over talking about this, or is it worth mentioning? Is it funny content or no?
I mean, it was. There was some technical issues added in that made it.
Let's go right to how the night wrapped. How did the night wrap, and how did you get back here with comics? Is there a story?
It wasn't that same.
Oh
night.
yeah, it wasn't the same night.
Oh, okay.
So I went there Friday night for Brouhaha, and he was telling me about how he was looking to do a podcast with David Brooks and Muhammad Patel, and he was asking me if I was down to do it tomorrow, somewhere around noon or 2, and I was like, yeah, I'm down. Just let me know. And then he let me know an hour later, we're good, because we were chilling at stage 2 for a hot minute, because there was just a bunch of
it was just
good comics back to back, and then the next day comes, and I'm on my way there, and you're talking to Muhammad and about David's car situation, and you're like, hold on, I'll see if where Luke's at. I'm like, I'm already on the way. I just haven't said a fucking word. And then I get here, and he tells me David Brooks has got some car issues, tire problem or something like that.
Yeah, had to get a new tire.
And so he couldn't make it, and I was like, so is it just one home? And he goes, David Waterhouse is coming. Daniel. Tomato, whatever.
Yeah.
And
that's how fun he was.
and he comes, and so we're setting it up and getting ready, and those two come on over, and we do a half-cocked podcast.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, there was technical issues, but I'm the one running it, so I fucked up. Well, at first the SD card went full almost immediately.
How does this happen? Every time that I'm not here, how the fuck does
Yeah,
I don't have any technical issues. It feels like the easiest click one button, tap record, but every time I'm not here, it's everything that can fall apart does fall apart.
The SD card was full, so it stopped recording after a point. And then OBS was like that, blacked out how it says stop recording, but it still said start. And it was like that for a minute.
That's why I have to restart this. We're going to inside baseball for people, but
Yeah.
that's why I restart this, because if
it wasn't open when I started all of
if you hit
this.
start recording and you see the little black part and it stays on start recording, doesn't say stop, it's not recording. It's frozen. So that's why you got to restart it.
But those were
You just didn't know a quick, easy trick because you haven't been running the equipment. It's not because you suck at this. This shit just fucking, these free programs just fail sometimes. It's not on you.
well, aside from the OBS and then like the SD card running on full, I think that was about the total of like
What
the
SD card were you
issues on
using
ours.
when it was full?
We're using like the blue
One of my-
SD card side one.
Was it the one that
Not the
Breezy
main
brought
one.
over? Because that one's like 2 gigs. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Because the thing fills up after one podcast. You got to delete everything.
I don't know, but yeah, and then just the dynamic I wanted for that was like, you know, Muhammad's controlled chaos that's barely controlled,
Yeah.
and I love that. But I wanted it with someone who would be able to react to him and go back, and nothing, no, not shitting on either one of them that were here to do it, but it was just more of like a soft yes and on everything, where you're like, it kind of kept trailing into like personal stories that it just didn't have it didn't maintain a structure that.
Do you feel like if
you
I was
asked-
here that it
you
would have been a
asked-
better podcast, or I would have had to have fought Muhammad at some point?
There probably would have been some serious arguing at some point.
Really? Is he that type of...
I don't know about serious, but there probably would have been some arguments.
No, it's
and
hard.
you would have said something immediately as soon as they left.
Oh, yeah. Or while they were here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard to say. Like Muhammad's a lot
I have
more,
a hard time controlling my feelings. For anybody that doesn't know, I get real upset real quickly, and I don't have any problem with confrontation.
It was
so-
just they knew each other very, very well because they're very, very good friends.
Yeah.
So and they're very high energy, the both of them, and it bounces off of each other. So if you ask one of them a question, whether they give you an answer or an indirect one, that's gonna make them think of something, or the other person think of something. So then that person will then ask the other about what they had just thought about and how it correlates to the question, and then those two would just fire off
it was
back
like,
and forth.
It was like conversationally trying to wrangle cats. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, there's 2 others in the room, right? Like, you're on a show. Like,
It's
you're
like-
not just hanging out together.
You know, sometimes you two will get wrapped up and be like, "Oh, this person from fucking 7th grade, and this person,"
And you have to sigh and like look at somebody else, like, "Oh yeah, you know,
Yeah, we're
Daniel
just
from-"
name
and
dropping
then we know how to
Russells
dial it
and shit.
back. It's like that, but if you don't know how to do that ever,
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, not that anyone else has pointed that out more than once, but it's fine.
You want to talk about Russell? I'm just kidding. Talk about Kelly.
oh Jesus, I had some point that I forgot. Oh, I haven't had the video for the. I don't know if this podcast is ever coming out. Probably not. Maybe a
Yeah, probably not.
Patreon throwaway or whatever.
This was another funny thing that has to be added to that
Go ahead.
before you go on.
Go ahead.
So because the SD card became full at a point, it became full at like the 40-minute mark, and then that was the camera issues. Like that, there was a gap between the video and the audio, and so I was trying to explain that to them, in how like the final product would look. Like there wouldn't be video for this part of like audio, and so he goes, I can send you photos if you want to like fill in that gap that you can like
Pull 'em
post
out.
up, right?
Pull 'em out. Pull 'em out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just
'em
send
ready.
them all to.
Can you send them to the Instagram
Yeah,
real
I'll
quick
send
while
it
you're
to
telling the story?
I'll send it to the Instagram.
Yeah, I just don't want. I don't want it to seem like it was like, oh, they fucking sucked at it. No, it just there were too many hitches in it for it to stay as coherent as it needed to be you know, a little more listenable. Maybe it's just because those things I thought it was worse than it is. So like, I mean, maybe at least give it a listen and then we'll decide. But to me, it felt like it was just very.
If you guys are telling me that it's not worth putting out, I just trust that opinion. I don't need to listen to the whole fucking thing. But I did listen to part of it. So for people that don't know, the audio records from the cameras, and then we have a separate device that records our mics. So I got a shitty version of the audio just from the fucking just from the cameras, and where the video started was Muhammad getting a phone call from his mom, at which point Daniel decides that he's going to interrupt the phone call to say, "Hey, it's Dan, I'm here also," and he's just talking to his mom, and I could see the look of distress on both Luke and Lloyd's face as this is happening, where it's like, hey, you could go outside and take this fucking phone call. Like, why are you doing this on the air? This is insane right now. But so reset up what you were saying about he told you what? So there was a dead part where we didn't have video or something.
So he said he could send us some pictures for him to send to us so we could put up in the video for the YouTube for when the video cuts out and it's just audio, so we could put these images over it instead. And earlier before we started podcasting, or maybe even earlier in that podcast, he's talking about how he has paid for drinks at bars with lewds before. And so when he was talking about sending pictures for us to cover up that missing gap of video, I was immediately worried. I was immediately, absolutely worried.
Yeah, I was
Did
like,
Lloyd
you're
insist
probably
that
fine.
your phone number was the one that get used to get the?
Thankfully it was the messenger.
Okay.
Between the four of us.
Yeah, when he was like, "Oh, I can send you pictures," I was like, "Yeah, you're probably fine, man. It's probably fine."
Not at all.
No, that's all right.
Not at all. I was immediately worried when he was like, "I'll send pictures."
And the pictures that we got were these.
A bunch of lewds, yeah. We got oh man. We got some stuff.
Does he have a fat cock on him? What's going on here?
No D pics. He said no nudes, they're lewds.
He's got a little accent about him, so I feel like, where's he from? Muhammad? Is he
Goofballville.
Pakistani? Okay. All right, he's got a fat piece on him. I feel like, I don't know, right? Pakistani dude.
Hold on, go to that last
They could have a
picture.
good wiener on him, don't they?
The next.
Next?
How to look less pathetic with your shirt off.
That's pretty funny.
That is good.
This was a comic in his lewds.
I thought it was a good idea, honestly. Like, I didn't listen to the thing. I didn't know how you guys felt about it until I showed up here, and you guys were like, "Yeah, maybe let's not release this." But I was like, I knew it was a weird podcast when Luke had to give me a phone call. Luke never calls me for anything unless something bad's happening. So
Well, the phone call was to first give you the dub on my technical fuck ups with the technology, and then I was like, well, this is how the episode went.
Yeah.
So this is what to expect when editing, because there's going to be some cuts.
Luke was like, we had two psychos on. I was like, what happened? You're like, you're just gonna have to listen to it. I don't know. I was like, is it listenable? And you're like, I guess. Like,
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, it might not be nearly as bad as I think, or because
I mean, I still had fun. I was absolutely exhausted, unlike any other podcast I've recorded by the end of it. But I did have fun.
And you're saying this.
I did have fun doing it.
You have to deal with my interruptions, me not letting you talk. You won't
Yeah,
talk
but
for a whole Patreon because
he knows you,
sometimes.
so.
And you're also like, this is the most.
That's the
exhausted I've ever
marathon
been.
I know.
yeah,
I didn't know how to do this 5K.
it's the dick bag you know for the dick bag you don't know.
They got turns and hills and shit I wasn't ready for.
Yeah, it was very all over the place. Like you're trying to get Muhammad to answer a question directly is always an iffy.
Jonathan Caldwell style, like
No, it's
Dude, I want to talk about him when we're done.
he's saying something. Hold on.
No, yeah, go on.
no, it's a little more just his is a little more intentional, and that he likes having a bit of chaos in the way he's even
Being
discussing
perceived
something.
and shit.
So it's Muhammad's a lot, but he knows that. And sometimes he likes to lean into it. And when he's being performative and on, it can be ratcheted up a notch or two more.
Yeah.
So that's what, in my initial idea, was having him and somebody who's going to react to that or counter that well.
Boys,
Having-
I have to shit. I can't wait anymore. I
You
gotta
gotta go poopy?
You want to sit in the captain's
Yeah,
chair?
I got you.
All right, I'll be right back.
Hurry up and take your poop, because you
But yeah,
gotta join this.
I mean, again, Muhammad's one of those people I enjoy him. I like being, and I am super impressed with how much better he's gotten since being in Iowa. I think him performing for crowds that hate him.
Yeah. Being
all
in
the time.
solitude.
Yeah, well, I mean, just every crowd hates him, so he's just gotten like a little bit more of that knowing how to be comfortable and just press through the next thing, or winning people over kind of thing. He did his sets at Bruja were really good.
Yeah,
like, very impressive. For like, I saw the last show before he left, and then seeing him back for the first time since he's been gone, I was like, oh shit, that's like it was a marked improvement.
Yeah.
So I was definitely impressed. So a bunch of people were actually like me and Lee were sitting there talking. I was like, man, I think maybe performing for a bunch of crowds that hate you does something good. And Lee's like, I think you're fucking right, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, even outside of being around Muhammad, I heard multiple people like, God damn, that was a big difference.
I want to speak to more to what you were saying about John Caldwell's intentional chaos. So what we know, or what I assume you last know of him, and from our episode with him, listeners, is he's obviously a very odd, eccentric, and eclectic individual. But when I saw him last night at the mic, he came up to me at the drinkery, and he was telling me about how he was at church the other day, and he was like, yeah, and I can't do that anymore. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, I'm done with going to church and all that. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah, it turns out bad faith is just not good. And I was like, no shit, man, no fucking way. And he's just like laughing, like with the most crazed looking, but like a look of joy in his face. Like, yeah, And then what really teed it off for me, like that was like, okay, John's like still at it, still weird, top dog weirdo, right? So 7 hits, list goes out, everyone's signing up, you know what I mean? 7:45 hits, mic starting. Everyone goes through, I do my set, I go outside, I come back in. John is just starting his set, okay? And he's doing his, his John set where he, stutters through his bit. And there's this guy next to Lee while he's doing his bit who's like talking to Lee. And Lee in the corner, like, is not very far from the mic at all. So John can see this guy talking to him. And the guy is like, I think he needs help. Like he's really like he's stuttering up there, and John just interrupts his whole set, and he goes, actually the stuttering is all part of the bit, ha, and just won't stop letting up on the guy. He's like, yeah, the me stuttering and being nervous is all fake. It's part of the bit. And he, he was just getting like joyfully upset at this guy.
Yeah, that weird, like, almost like wrong emotion for the moment kind of thing. Yeah. It's funny to a point, but also it's like,
what's happening?
Is everything okay? Like, it gives you a little bit of that, like, I don't know that all of this is as intentional as you try to sell it as. I think some of this really is like
under your skin,
and you don't know how to deal with certain things, and so it just comes out wrong. Like
it was fucking so great. Every time he like angrily mock laughed at this guy, the crowd was losing their minds. I had never seen John like work such an energy and such like an upset angle before, but it was fucking joyful. It brought me so much fucking joy. I want to see more sets like that from John.
Yeah, it's interesting to see like which parts click and which parts don't of like those kind of like hyper eccentric things.
Yeah.
To me, it's the same as like we're comparing it to like how Muhammad is in certain ways. There's times Muhammad will get under somebody's skin and they give it right away. They're like, yeah, this is bothering me, and I'm like,
yeah,
why would you? How do you not get what this is?
Yeah,
like, how do you not get that he's kind of just poking because you're reacting too big?
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll react too big and he'll poke twice as much,
stoking the flames,
which is not good for his I mean, like, not getting punched in the face by homeless people on a regular basis.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, when he said that, I laughed because, like...
like, he has a whole bit about, you said bit he did about, once I realized how hard it was to actually throw punches correctly or whatever, he's like, I think I'm just going to start biting people from now on. He's like, because you're not going to keep that fight going up because it's just not good for you, just, like, from a hygienic standpoint. Like, which is a fun way to turn
that's a
it.
good bit, yeah.
But, one, Lily physically threatened him, and you could tell he had a moment of, like, I don't
Know if I should keep pushing this or not.
Yeah, like Lily was like, I'll fuck you up. Because he was asking me how to throw punches. And then I was like, Lily can do this. Like, Lily can tell you this. And he was fucking it up more than once. And he said something smart to her. And she's like, don't get me, he's nice to you. I will fuck you up. I don't care.
Yeah.
And she had kind of like a I mean it vibe where I'm like, is Lily about to fight this grown man? And then he had this vibe like, I don't know if I can win this fight.
Yeah.
So he another time he's asked me about how to throw a punch, what to do, and he just realized like he's just not that good at it naturally.
Yeah.
Like he's strong and he's a bigger dude, but
Doesn't have that fighting thing.
yeah. So that's when he just went with it. I'm just gonna start biting people from now on, which was hilarious take, just especially in the moment to be like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be good enough at this for it to do what I needed to do, so I gotta find another way. And
Gotta bite people.
I think I'm just gonna start biting people. And he said it very like,
Yeah.
this is the next part of this thought, not like, oh, I'm about to say something funny, but he said it very naturally, where you're like,
There's a character from a show that I think is very funny. He says or in one specific episode he says a bunch to like bigger dudes that could obviously beat the dog shit out of him. I'll suck your dick as like an alternative to the fight, like the shit talking, so like it weirds them out so they leave. And the friend in the show is like, so what are you gonna do if they like pull their dick out? And he's like, well, I guess I'm gonna suck their dick. I guess I'm gonna have to, or they're gonna beat my ass. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I wonder if he actually would come to that point.
yeah, I'm certain.
Patel is that type of guy. He's just gonna start dipping them chompers in.
I'll put it this way: when he said it, it wasn't to be funny.
Yeah.
Like when he said it to, like in that moment, it was not a. It was. I guess I'm just gonna fucking bite people or something. Like it was like him trying to figure out what to do next, and like realizing what he wanted wasn't gonna happen easily.
Yeah.
So he's like, I guess I'll just start fucking biting people. And I'm like, you get in a lot of fights with homeless people. And I was like, yeah.
You can't be getting in fights with homeless people.
And then especially if your next plan is to bite them. Because the worst group of people on the planet to start biting, I would imagine, is homeless people.
You've already lost the battle if you're fighting homeless people.
But I've personally seen him get hit.
Dude, why is the recording off? No, I'm just playing.
I'll fight you. You can't
I was
just...
so ready to play along with you. I was like I was already selling like I'm bummed out.
Yeah, I was just gonna talk mad shit about like who are you to be getting beat up by like or challenged to fights by homeless people, as if like it would be a better alternative to get challenged by people of a higher stature, like lawyers are just out here dueling people fisticuff style and shit.
I mean, Muhammad's the kind of guy who he could pick a fight with a fucking nun.
Yeah,
Like especially if he
that'd be dope.
If he figured out how to get under their skin and they were giving him the reaction he looks for, he's just going to keep going.
Put him in the oath section of the sister house. That I went to the sister house on a 5th grade.
What the fuck is the sister house, Luke?
So the sister house is the nunnery. It's where nuns in your state or whatever in your general area go to be to join the sisterhood. And if you don't have like a living quarters, they can offer you one, like a place to stay and live and
It's
whatnot.
like a home for battered women.
For nuns, yeah,
They're
for
really into
sisters.
God.
For soon to be battered.
We had at my Catholic school, my 5th and 6th grade teacher were nuns, and so both of those years,
What'd that pussy taste like?
fucking real
Sadness.
salty,
Tears.
dry aged.
Can of sardines
The
from
tears
World
of
War II.
the tears of small girls.
So both of those years, they
what
took
they
us to like the sister house as like a field trip, and both
Longest
years
field trip
I remember. Yeah, 100%.
Worst
Both years
field
I
trip
remember
ever.
going down the hallway where they're like, now this is where we have sisters that have taken the vow of silence. And it's like, why? And it's like, because they're close with God. And you're like, that's scary already.
Oh, it takes God for a woman to finally do what we've always wanted them to do at the beginning of time.
It's like, hold on, wait. How do I get them to? How do I get mine to do this?
This is
Man.
fucking terrifying.
I got some hoes that I know that need some God, dude. That's what I'm thinking.
At least how I remembered it, the hallway that we stood at the foot of it. Like, the hallway down into it was dimly fucking lit. Like, they just had walls or windows on the side of the wall that, like, let the sun in. Like, there was no it was all natural lighting and nothing artificial. And it was like the sun was starting to set. Like, it was getting real weird.
Just unscented candles and sunlight.
Yeah, like, I would be terrified to walk in there. What type of, like, green tea bottles you would find, or like how much it would smell like pussy juice, or like it's got to be horrific in those fucking oath hallways.
I like that the Catholic Church like really lets you know what kind of horrors you're getting into with like the weird ominous humming, like the culty humming and the candles and the fucking, you know, just everything about it seems spooky and creepy, as it should, because it is. So it's like, at least they're setting you up for the horror show that you're going to get into with the Catholic religion. That's the only thing I could give them respect for. Yeah, it's dark and dingy and creepy. Yeah, it should seem that way. It is. That whole thing is weird and creepy.
It is fucking weird and creepy. The underneath our church was a library, and that's where we also had our computer classes.
Keep those books in the dark so people can't see the words so good.
Evolution, it was all hidden in there. There was also a bunch of Norse and Greek mythology books under there, which I thought was hilarious. But now, not then, but our computer teacher, who was underneath the church, like the church crypt, basically, it was like
Out
this.
there with all your book learning.
This little 5'3" woman who's got like the most hunched back you've ever seen.
Did any of the nuns look titty, like real good titties, real good ass?
No, but
damn.
if I had to pick over Sister Lucian or Sister Juliet, I'm about to tear up Sister Juliet over
Yeah.
Lucian.
What was the qualities of Sister Juliet?
Age. Sister Lucian sounded as old as her name. You don't meet anybody named Lucian anymore, you know what I mean? Unless they're like a 10,000-year-old vampire that also has a castle that flies.
What up, Lucian Smith?
Lucia, not Lucian. But like, yeah, it's she was much older. Her hair was as white as her skin was. It was translucent. You could see right through her bald fucking head, even though it was a full head of hair. Yeah, it was weird. Sister Lucian also had these nicknames.
How hard do you think these nuns would bust if you fucked them? Like they just
instantaneously
be a fire hydrant that got hit by a car immediately.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're going down there fucking.
You're going in there with swim trunks.
They're down there. They're all down there scissor pounding and fucking.
Scissor
They're
pound.
doing shit you ain't even fucking. You didn't even know about.
What kind of horrible
cramming?
shit are the nuns up to? Like if the fucking.
They're doing awful shit to little girls.
You think so?
Positive.
Yeah, have you ever heard Althea Flint?
No. Let's look her up. Hold on. How do you spell Althea?
It was Larry Flint's wife.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, she talked about being aggressively molested by nuns for most of her time because I think her parents both died young or some crazy shit, whatever.
Althea Flint nuns.
But yeah, she made a lot of mentions over the years about
Getting poked by
That's old.
yeah,
Some
getting her
nuns.
face jammed into
dude.
Some old nun snatch.
old furry clams.
Dude, Sister Lucian had nicknames for us that she would use, like whenever we would ask to go to the bathroom or.
And their
or
butthole hair must have been
restroom.
outrageous.
Dude, she would call us like Sweetheart of the Cornflake. She would call us Sir Galahad, of the Round Table. Like she had a bunch of like really weird names to give us.
She was hallucinating nights the round table shit was going on.
Yeah, but the Sweetheart of the Cornflakes thing is what fucks me up. Like I don't know what that is about, what that's from, why she started I don't get it.
She's like, them cornflakes I had this morning were delicious. What was that? Yeah, you sweethearted it. Delicious cornflakes.
licking her lips.
What?
She had a paddle on the wall next to the door.
I bet she did.
And it was there for just threats because
I'm hard already.
I asked Stevie, my piece of shit brother, if he ever got hit by it, and he said no. She picked it up and walked to me with it. I thought she was gonna hit me with it, but she just had me sign my name.
But then
on
I
it.
just straight swung on her though.
I swung on her, bro, and she went down.
I swung on that black and white headed bitch.
When was the last time you talked to Stevie?
I haven't spoken to him in like a decade.
Do you have a phone number for Stevie?
No.
Can we call him?
If I wanted
Can
to,
we
I
have him on the
could. I could
podcast?
talk to my.
Can we get him on the podcast just through a phone call?
No, I would. I from what I do know and understand though, he is on the up and up. If he ever,
As far as what you're saying about him on the internet?
as far as I know, he is on the up and up. And if he ever gets to a point where I feel like I could trust him, I would definitely love to have him on the podcast for all of the ridiculous stories he has.
I want to talk to one of your family members.
He broke his parole by breaking into someone's house and having a yard sale with their belongings and selling their boat.
Oh, fuck, if you never told us this.
All right,
Yeah,
th-
man.
That's so good.
He broke his parole stealing candy from Supreme Nut and Candy.
This reminds me of something.
He's a savage.
So I found out I almost bought a Nintendo Switch the other day because I saw it for $209.
Deal.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
It was at a pawn shop because my buddy called me and needed a ride to a pawn shop to get his TV back.
Yeah.
And I said, "Why do you need a ride?" And he's like, "For the same reason I need you to take me to the pawn shop to get my TV back." And I said, "What's that?" And he's like, "My brother's been staying with me." And I was like, "Fuck." I was like, why did you let him stay with you? His brother has been on and off meth for, and when I say off, I mean like court ordered off meth. Like not,
Dude, when you
That always works.
no, I mean like,
he
and he's
sold
like-
your TV.
so look, hold on. Here's what blew my fucking mind. He's like, yeah, I stayed at my girl's house for a couple days because he was kind of just being a lot. And I'm like,
You just left him with your belongings?
and I'm like,
Fuck
how
you
did-
mean?
And he's like, yeah, man, he pawned my TV. And then he's like, yeah, she dropped me off, she picked me up from the house the other day to go do blah, 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 blah. And then when I got back, the car was gone and he was gone. And blah, blah. I'm like, how do you not expect this to be the exact same thing that has happened before?
yeah.
Is that what you're afraid with your brother, having him on a podcast? Like,
Yeah.
he's going to steal the whole podcast.
Well, I don't think he would, because I am his brother, and not that he hasn't wronged people that are very close to him and have supported him his whole life. I just know the way he speaks to me and the way he has always treated me my entire life, I don't think he would ever disrespect me to that length.
You're his baby Bubba.
But I think he would at least ask me for money, if not ask y'all for money. And if he's still using, he's
Go ahead, ask me for money.
He's definitely gonna ask you for where you get yours, and if you can get some now, and how much you have, and yeah.
So he's just going to be like Cody?
Yeah, that's what I do.
He's bad. He
He's gonna be
was
like-
bad, but again, from what I understand, he's been cleaned up for some months, and he's got. I have a new niece that I haven't met. I don't like her name. Love you to death already, but don't like your name.
What's her name?
Aislinn.
Aislinn?
Not a fan.
Yep, not either.
Not a fan.
Not at all.
But love you. If you ever listen to these episodes, little one, love you. Not a fan of the name. We'll come up with a nickname, but
Yeah, I'm sure she'll go back to episode 236.
but
and
from
listen to
what
that.
I understand, though, he's got a nice job, a nice place for his new girl and her, and things are going well. So fingers crossed.
Are you thinking about rekindling that fucking...
I would love to.
What
I
stops
never
you?
had any.
What stops you from just making a phone call? Because to me, it's so easy. Like, we have fuck-ups in my family. Like, so my dad's side's all dead, basically. It's like 3 of us left. But my mom's side, all super supportive, interconnected, and there's fuck-ups. But, like, it's like there are fuck-ups. So, like, even though they're but they're not on the level that you're talking about.
I think that may. Oh, I don't know. We can compare on what horrible things our family members have done to each other for us to accept them.
My
still.
mom's side's not that bad,
But-
honestly.
My dad's side is pretty bad.
My dad is... That's why I don't talk to my Uncle Scott, for that same reason.
But it's like I said, he's never done anything wrong to me. He's never hurt me in that way. He's never wronged me. He's always spoken to me with great regard, and he's always
He's
shown me
afraid
love.
you're going to know that ginger magic.
but
He heard about that voodoo in the south side of Louisiana, boy.
the things I know he's done to my parents, and the things I know he has done while using, even while my parents
He's almost-
parents
Was he a heroin
were
guy?
supportive. are just like pretty.
What was his drug?
All of it.
Crack? Was he crack?
Crack, heroin, all of it.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, like like my dad. He
stole
told
my
me
sister's colostomy bag.
he was saving it for weeks. So he
Trying
was
to pick the undissolved Percocets out of it.
He spent years and
Hey,
years.
I know her digestive tract don't be working that good.
Facts. He spent years and years in prison, and he spent years going in and out of prison. And my dad, and he spent.
Is he gang affiliated at all?
Was, and they definitely wanted to kill him for the large amount of money that he owed them.
Was it a Nazi gang?
I don't think so. I can't give a promise. He's
That's
very tatted.
Apparently, Luke can't really tell a Nazi from other normal people.
No, he's. The last time I met
That's
my
callbacks. That's a callback to show I listened.
my brother is tattooed from the neck down, like full body style. So I don't know what he has covered up or what he has showing. But
he's like, I covered it in swastikas with the Russian stars, and people ain't get happy about that.
My dad is
They
told
tried
me,
to schwang on me.
My dad has told me, and my mom has guaranteed it with great rage because my mom has cut Stevie out of her life entirely. He has supported my brother Stevie with over $25,000
in drugs.
Well, essentially,
Just paid him in a key.
Essentially, I mean,
He's
you don't
like
think he didn't turn the money he got to drugs? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's funnier to think of your dad just being like, look, all right, I know you're having a hard time right now. Here's a half key and a prescription of Percocets.
the closest his dad can
Keep
get to
it
being
together.
supportive.
Just keep it together.
Try to maintain.
I'll give you enough. You ain't got to fuck it up for a couple weeks. Get it together so your mom will talk to you again.
but I'd be there like for phone calls where he's asking my dad for like $800.
Your
My
dad's
dad
in-
is like, no, I can't do it, and then he's like going off like 10 out of 10 rage, like, fuck you, piece of shit, you've never loved me, you've never given a fuck about me, you've never cared about me, fuck you and your bitch ass wife and them stupid ass kids. Like, he'll just like rage mode on everything and everybody.
Is he the oldest in that family
Yes.
that you know of? You did a fucking maybe.
Yeah. Well,
I love the idea of your family being in family counseling and your dad being like, I tried everything for this little motherfucker. I gave him a half a key. I gave him a script. I mean, he just couldn't get his money up, and he's just a faggot now.
He is my half brother, so I had to make sure. I had to actually think if Stevie has any other brothers, but he doesn't. It's just me and my sister,
Yeah.
or his siblings.
All my siblings are technically my half siblings, but my mom would like freak out if any of them ever said that.
All
to
mine
me.
are now.
Yeah, I just say that for like Clarency, Matthew, and Stevie for sure is my half brother, but Matthew I would never call a half brother that he's brother.
Have you ever tried to call your dad out on his bullshit? Like,
All
try
the
to have
time.
a heart to heart with him, or like try to get some sense of like, come on, man, don't
Oh,
you
like-
love me? You're my dad. Like, you ever try to get
serious
him?
conversations like that?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like I've definitely called him on his like stupid bullshit and argued with him like all the time.
Does he hit
but, like,
you? Has he ever hit you? Like, is he that type of dude?
He's definitely hit me before. Like since I've been, like since sophomore junior year, it was like that's when like he wouldn't dare.
You were a man at that point.
Well, I was too tall, and I would definitely like do
take
something.
a skateboard.
I would do something
while he's sleeping and
Yeah.
just smash his face in.
So that's
but-
nice. My dad was in hospice, and I was scared of him. Like I'm not. I would love to be kidding right now.
I was afraid he was gonna beat me with the dialysis
But
machine.
there's just something about that. He always had that like. Nah, he'll still figure out a way to fuck me up. Like
My dad was terrifying. Like, I'd called him sir and shit. He never asked me to do it, but like I had some like innate respect for my dad, where it was just like, just don't talk shit to him.
Bro, there
He
was
never
one
fucked me
time-
up or did nothing to me, but it was like I had this
he
sense
cut
of like
those roses
we
for
were-
me to throw at the ground.
we were playing wiffle ball in our front yard in Price Hill. Listeners,
I've heard of
Wiffle?
wiffle ball,
If you-
but man,
Wiffle ball?
I want to hear what wiffle ball is. That's when they just sick dogs on you.
you should hear me say "fricious big boy."
Frickish.
I just did, and I hate it.
Yeah.
Now you get where his
Price
brother
Hill.
gets that.
So,
Yeah, I like that he uses swing, schwung, and schwang on people, present, past, and sorry, keep going.
I don't remember what was that.
You were playing wiffle ball.
Oh, so in our front yard.
God, you got me.
Listeners,
I said that on accident.
If you go to Google Maps and you look up 1222 Beach Avenue in Price Hill, the front yard is like 20 by 15. Okay, so we're not batting anything. Okay, so he's got the ball and I have the bat, and I'm like tapping him in the back of the leg so he would stop talking to my mom and grandma on the porch so he would play with me. That's the front yard. Holy fuck.
Right here?
Yeah, that's
What
the
did you
house.
think
Holy
was
shit.
gonna happen?
Well, I mean, I haven't seen it since like my grandma's house was like gutted. Like they took out all the
He's
brass
like, dude, if
in
you go
it.
to it on Google Maps and look at it.
Well, I didn't think
dude,
that it
it's
would
on
look
Google
like
Maps.
that.
I like that there's a homeless encampment just over here for no reason.
Well, that has always been like that. The people, the people who lived in that house when I lived there were also not of the
What, they've
right
got
mind.
a wound care tent over here?
So
Speedway Steve, dude.
Speedway. So that's
why he always talks
that
to
front
you.
porch is where we're playing like little wiffle ball, right? And he's on the front those staircase.
There's a
And
guy that
he's-
just got done selling crack to this car. I
he's
swear to
talking-
God, in this fucking...
He's talking to my mom and grandma on the front porch, and I'm hitting him in the back of the leg with the bat, like, let's go, you know? And I just hit him a bit too hard on, like, the last one. So he turns around, already filled with fear by this guy at this point, right? He turns around so fast. My instinct is to drop everything and run, right? So I drop everything and run. Dude dips down, picks up the bat, and throws it at my little legs while I'm running down the sidewalk. And fucking, he
Wiffelbollowed.
Name of the episode.
Wiffelbollowed.
Send it to the chat.
And fucking, I go down hard, and I slide on my face and my shoulder, and I've got like this huge face-size scab and this huge scab on my shoulder, and dude just like all of that stuff.
Real quick, were you
denies,
doing the little
denies
kid?
all
Were you
of it.
doing the little kid where you can't even cry because you're in so much
Yeah,
pain?
just
Were you
trying to breathe. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
like waiting for the
Yeah.
first scream to
Dude,
come
these
out?
scabs were so big, guys. You could smell them. Like when they were healing, like the healed scabs. You could
That's called
smell
infection,
them.
It's
buddy.
called gangrene.
Yeah, time to go to the hospital.
It's fucking bad.
He's like, Mom, my skin is talking to me. He's got a fever of 107. Let's take him to the hospital.
Yeah.
Little bitch shouldn't hit me with that bat. Fuck him.
I got so many stories like that.
We're at the end. If you want to hear the rest of, do you want to tell another fucked up story? Do you want to start one and then we'll give them the rest on the Patreon?
I got tons. I can talk
give
about
them
seeing my
just a
dad's
setup.
dick.
Okay, talk about
Seen my dad's dick twice.
Luke's dad's dick, and to quote the Def Jam comics that sucked back in the day, that's when I know I was blessed.
I pull it out and turn this whole room dark. I love Bernie
Take my
Mac so
pants
much.
off. Take my pants off. There's an echo in the room.
To make this whole room dark. Yeah. This episode is sponsored by at BG Bronson. That's Bobby Bronson. He runs the Decorated Body. If you want to check out the Decorated Body tattoo shop that's in the historic Pendleton district of OTR, go to at the Decorated Body on Instagram. They just got a new artist. She's doing some dope fucking work. Check her out. Check
Dude,
out
don't
Soap.
check it out.
Check
It's
out
dangerous.
all the other people that are out there.
It'll make you want a tattoo real bad.
Make sure you follow BG Bronson so that you can get into his books. He's always closed down because everybody wants that fucking slick ass anime art. Plus, Oso's doing these realistic ass designs. Soap's got her own specific like line work style that looks beautiful. Like everybody up there is a fucking killer, and it's a very prestigious shop. So make sure you go follow all of them and try to get in on those books because you won't be disappointed. I promise you. Also, Scarlet Vape and Smoke is back. Can you read that?
Oh, we are? Okay,
Yep,
dope.
Back. They paid us. I
We
gotta
are
send you the money.
sponsored with Scarlet Vape and Smoke Shop. Scarlet Vape and Smoke Shop has got the top of the line shit. They've got everything from heady glassware. They've got water pipes. They've got bowls. They've got steam rollers. They have rolling papers. They've got everything that you need and then some when it comes to your smoke essentials. And you can find Scarlet Vape and Smoke Shop at one of two locations. And one is at 937 Monmouth Street, Newport, Kentucky, 41071. And the other one is at 11424 Montgomery Road, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45249. Go in there and get your smoke shit and let them know you're a bastard to get 15% off your order.
Tremendous. Go and check them out. They're great.
We're also brought to you by banginsnacks.net. Banginsnacks.net brings you snacks from all around the world. Fantastic stuff you can't get anywhere else. They bring it to you for incredibly low prices. Awesome snacks from Korea, Japan, Norway, everywhere, all over the place. Stuff you'd never think of that would be awesome, and you try it, and it's amazing. These guys are super cool. They're very, very reasonable with the pricing. I mean, to the point where it's. I was surprised how cheap it was compared to other things. banginsnacks.net. If you check out at the checkout, you can type in code bastard or bastards, and it saves you 15%. That's banginsnacks.net.
Check them out, fuckfaces. This episode is done with its sponsor reads, I believe. Is that all of our sponsors?
Yeah.
You also want to go to patreon.com/thebastard sermon. $5 a month unlocks all of our bonus content, including Luke's Big Dick Dad story and more. We've got LLCs that are, we haven't done one in a while. That's my fault that we've had them set up and I've fucking canceled. So I'll get back on that soon. We'll get you some more bonus content, but there's a bonus episode every week and you get the free episode a day early. A couple quick shout outs to our friends and Lloyd Johnson and Alex Schubert. First off, again, happy 30th, Shubes. You're a crusher. I gained so much respect for you at the Cy Amundsen show. You fucking killed it. I bet you killed it at Brouhaha. I'm sorry I missed it. But if you want to check out their fucking podcast, Fuck You Like the Bengals, the season starts September 11th. It's starting off with the Steelers. It's starting off right. I can't wait to watch them fucking mop the turf with them. That's going to be a fucking sick game. Is that a term that people use in the footballs? Nope. No? Okay, well, they're going to do that. They're going to mop the turf with them. That's, man, I'm a faggot. Now, our other friends, Blake Hammond, he's having a great year. He just finished up opening for fucking Kyle Kinane and had a great set. Now he's going to be opening for Brad Williams at the Liberty Funny Bone. I don't know when. It might be too late at this point. Weekend. If it's this weekend, then fuck it. Just follow fucking Big Rad Machine on Twitter or on Instagram and follow Blake Hammond.
Yeah, Twitter.
And make sure you go and check his shows out. Just the Clips coming back. We're recording a couple episodes this week, so be on the lookout for that. And What You Into with Anthony Tank Mansfield. He just did an episode with Lloyd and Alex Schubert about football. It was a fucking great episode. He's got a Craft Brewed Sports episode that just came out, and I'm going to be doing a Predator show with him and Paul Gonzalez from
I think I'm recording
White Oak Marathon.
Tomorrow.
Luke's doing one. Check our friends out. They're fucking awesome.
I'm doing one tomorrow.
That's a podcast,
So
boys.
that'll be out.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.